Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is going on? My name is M1K3 and welcome back to another daily upload. Today we are talking about how to get insane mechanics in chapter 3. But before we get into that, around 39% of you guys watching are not subscribed. So if you end up enjoying today's video, consider subscribing. Let's also go for 2,000 likes on this video. Now, let's get into today's episode. Firstly, I want to start off by saying that this isn't going to be your everyday mechanics video. This is going to be a more unorthodox video with tips that will actually help you out, no matter the skill level you're at. So with that out of the way, I want to start off with something that will instantly give you an advantage, and that is the best keys 2x input settings. So if you are on controller, feel free to skip to the next video chapter. Having keys 2x or any double movement software if you are on mouse and keyboard is essential, because if you don't have it, you will fall behind the competition. But the difference between good and bad keys 2x settings are actually quite significant. The settings you see on screen right now are by far the best settings I have tested and will allow you to play to your full mechanical potential. So please, if you don't already use keys 2x, download it and put on these settings and stick to it. Don't swap it off because it feels different, weird, or difficult to use. Stay on it. It will make all the difference in the world for your competitive career. Moving on, I want to talk about one creative map. And I know, creative maps can be kind of boring to play, and it's hard to remember to play a creative map every single day. But the map I'm about to show you is the most underrated map in the world, and in my opinion, also the best mechanics map ever made. And it's not even close. The map is of course made by Raider464, and the only thing I would advise you to play is crosshair placement training. Play this for 15 minutes every day, and I can guarantee that after only 14 days, you will start seeing your mechanics becoming both much faster and way more consistent. The map code will be in the description of today's video, so try and remember 15 minutes a day for the next 14 days. The next thing you need to fully understand to get top tier mechanics is the grid system. If you're not already aware, the grid system is basically where and how you're allowed to place your builds, both over, through, under, to the sides, and more of your opponents or your own structures. Most notably, when it comes to the grid system, we have high cones. Understanding and adapting high cones into your game will not only make you a much better fighter, but it will also allow you to take height much easier. Another skill the grid system allows you to practice is facing builds through walls, and this is something I've talked about in a previous video, and I honestly think everyone should know how to do this in 2022, as it can make your opponent waste a lot of mats, get stressed out, and you can easily win fights as a result of this one single skill. Consistency is the next topic I want to talk about, because a lot of Fortnite players only think about the speed of which they can do a chain of edits, like how fast they can do an edit course and clip someone, right? What people fail to realize is that consistency equals speed. Let me explain. If you're super fast but mess up one edit, you've lost more on that one failed edit compared to if you did the same edit course much slower but didn't mess up one single edit. Having good mechanics does not mean having lightning quick edits and builds. Having good mechanics means that you're incredibly consistent, that you rarely mess up, have smooth mouse movements, and do it all at a speed that doesn't limit your movement. So instead of focusing on speed, focus on having smooth mouse movements and ridiculously consistent edits and builds. Practicing scuffed edits is the next thing I need to talk about in today's episode. And this is honestly one of the most important points to improve mechanics tremendously. And you guys might be asking, practicing scuffed edits? What do you mean, Mary? Well, what I recommend is taking 10 minutes out of your warm-up to practice edits that are very hard. Edits like when you're all the way into a wall and need to edit out. Flipping a stair in all different directions quickly in case someone is in your box. Or just when you're on a stair and need to edit out because someone is in your box pressuring you hard. Practicing scuffed edits is something no one does. And in reality, it's these edits we should be practicing. This is because the average mechanical level of a competitive player nowadays is already so high that they rarely mess up on anything else than these scuffed edits. Trust me, if you adapt practicing these difficult edits into your warm-up and spend 10 minutes every day on actively trying to become better at these edits, then you will find yourself being so much better at surviving in fights when you're low on HP and getting pressured. And your consistency will skyrocket. The second to last thing I want to talk about in this episode is practicing against better players than yourself. So what you want to do is play build fight 1v1s against someone that is a level above you. This is because more skilled players will punish you heavily for the mechanical mistakes you make. If you miss one wall, you will get piece controlled. If you don't place a cone in your box, he will get the cone in. And this will evolve your skill into learning what to do in various different scenarios. Playing against one of your buddies that isn't at a super high level every single day will not improve your mechanical abilities. This is because one player has certain weaknesses, including you and me, and you want to try and play against as many different good players as you can, so that you can get a better understanding of what your weak point, mechanically speaking, might be. This will take your mechanics to a whole different level, and is something only the top 0.001% of players ever attempt doing. So, you know, it's hardcore, but you will get near pitch perfect mechanics by doing this. The final way of getting top tier mechanics in chapter 3 is by learning one high ground retake every week. And I know, this might sound stupid, but hear me out. We all know that you most likely will never use a high ground retake in a competitive game, especially not the creative warrior ones, right? But if you learn one high ground retake every week, you will learn so many different combinations of builds and edits that you again can adapt into your other style of play. Even though you might never use the high ground retake, other than in creative, the individual chains of builds and edits could help you win more fights. The edits can make you a more consistent editor, and the builds can make you a smoother builder. Additionally, it's good learning something new in Fortnite, actually giving yourself a challenge. I have learned a lot from learning different high ground retakes. I've taken bits and pieces from the high ground retakes I've learned and adapted them into my competitive fighting style. And it has undoubtedly made me a better mechanical player. Guys, that is going to wrap up today's daily upload. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something new. Other than that, please go on to have an amazing day. My name is M1K3 Editz. Stay safe and take care.